So my first tell is lime jello. Come on.
No, I don't smell lime jello.
And then my other one is it's either petrol or like Vaseline.
Petrol.
Get it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, am I supposed to taste it now?
What do you think?
It's delicious.
Tosh Show. Tosh Show. Tosh Show for show.
Welcome to Tosh Show. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Eddie, you still a big smoker?
I'm not a big smoker.
You were a big smoker.
For a week, yeah.
For 1 week. Coolest week of your life.
I felt so cool.
I never smoked. And now, well, hold on now. I don't know that Big Tobacco may be a sponsor of this show, and I don't want to say bad things about smoking if they're a sponsor. Are they?
I don't think they are.
They're okay. Well, then I think smoking is dangerous.
So,
You know where the word isn't out yet on smoking being bad for you?
Where?
Alcoholics. you go to an AA meeting? Oh my goodness. They just chain smoke. I'm like, I was drinking that harmful?
Are you going to AA meetings?
Whoa, that's a better question. Why am I going to? My son's elementary school doubles as an AA meeting place once a month.
Uh-huh.
And I can always tell when it's being used for AA because instead of children in an elementary school playing, it's a bunch of really depressing people just all huddled outside, just smoking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this isn't an elementary school anymore. This is something else. Anyway, they're there once a month, and good for them, getting help and talking about Jesus or whatever they do there. But we walk by it every day going to school. So my son finds this chip, this coin. It says 60 days of sobriety. And I go, yes, that's good treasure, buddy, but you can't keep it. We got to leave it here because that means something important to someone else. But they're only there once a month. So every day we're passing it, and he's like, Dad, the chip is still here. Can I take the coin? And I'm like, I don't think you can.
It's not a thing you want your kid walking around with.
Well, no, you can't steal that. I think that's just bad juju. I don't know what's going to happen. How soon till the guy gets another chip?
90 days.
So if in 30 days it's still there, my son can then take it because the person would have moved on to a 90-day chip, or they would have fallen off the wagon and are back to being fun.
Yes.
First of all, drinking. I'm not making light of drinking either. I've never been a drinker. My parents didn't drink, and they always told me not to drink. They said drinking's bad. So I was like, all right, drinking's bad, and I didn't drink. And then by the time I got to an age where I realized, oh, drinking's not bad, and it was like, all right, well, now I don't drink, so should I really start? I never knew what to order. I always feel silly. People are like, oh, you got to try this wine. I'm like, what? That tastes like kerosene. And then I bring wine always whenever I show up someplace. I just based on price.
Mm-hmm.
How much should you spend when you're bringing a bottle of wine over to somebody's house? I spent close to $20,000.
Wow, that's okay.
I didn't even know wine could cost that much until I met today's guest. Enjoy.
Tosh Show.
My guest today can turn a sip of wine into a 10-minute TED Talk. She has worked in some of the finest restaurants in the world, from Pizza Hut to the French Laundry. And I'm sure she will pick up subtle hints of sarcasm with some notes of ignorance from my questions today. Please welcome certified sommelier Sarah.
Hi.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Sure.
I like no follow-up to an indifferent sure. Sure, why not? You ever seen a ghost?
I don't think so.
You ever felt one?
No. I was doing inventory late at night once, and all the wine glasses started moving around, and one of the doors opened. So I just went out there. I was like, I'm scared of everything. Please leave me alone. And then they did.
Uh-huh. I get scared easy.
Mm-hmm.
And my mind goes into bad places quickly. But yeah, I never connect the dots that way. I always just think I'm just on the verge of being killed. That's always what I'm worried about. Now, just so you know, I'm not a drinker, but I always will drink just to show people I'm not somebody that, it's just easier to take
Sure.
to drink
Sure.
than have this long explanation of that I have a palate of a 4-month-old that just wants chocolate milk.
Sure.
So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm fascinated by your work for a few reasons, because even though I don't drink, I love vineyards. I love going to places. I love traveling to the south of France. I love...
What do you do at a vineyard?
I stay at the hotel.
Sure.
Or
Sure.
wherever. I like it. I like it for its beauty.
Mm-hmm. And its bouginess.
I like the bouginess. I like walking around. I like it's peaceful. It's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How and when did you decide to become a professional wino?
I was working at a restaurant in Scottsdale, and the ownership asked whoever worked there if they wanted to get their level 1 sommelier, they would pay for it. So I said, why not? It's intimidating. Wine's really intimidating. And when a guest knows more than you about wine, it really sucks.
Yes.
And I was just serving then. And so I wanted to know more. And it just was like way more interesting than I thought it would be. It's history and geography mostly. And then there's a lot of law and science. Like the juice in the glass at the end is the last moments of that wine's life. There's so much before that. And so that was like Pandora's box blew open. And I was like, I got to get out of here. And I moved to California and started studying with master sommeliers.
How much this manager of the restaurant, how much is getting your level 1 sommelier?
I think it's like $500 to take the exam.
Just to take the test.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to do all the prep work?
They did.
There's
They put on a little,
classes to go to?
put on a little course. It's not like, they have it online now since COVID, but they would give you like general things to study.
Okay.
And so the restaurant group would put on classes. Like a distributor would come in, bring a wine, put on a class, I don't know, maybe 10 weeks or so. And then you sit for the exam.
And are you allowed to take the exam multiple times?
Yeah, I don't know the time for level 1, but I passed that one on the first try.
You're a level 2 or 3?
I'm a 2.
Are you looking to
Nope.
continue? You're done?
Not interested. The commitment that it takes is pretty offensive.
Okay, fine.
And the way you have to eat and drink and spend your life and social life, and I have a really nice life.
How long did you wait before you went to the second tier? And how many tiers are there?
There are 4 tiers: intro, certified, advanced, and master. So the master sommelier exam is regarded as the hardest exam in any field in the world. Which
Okay, but is it?
That's my response.
A brain
at first.
surgeon that's listening to this right now is probably like, yeah, no, it's the hardest.
It's demonstrably true that it's the hardest exam in the world. I'm not saying that that's matches what I do. I serve rotten grape juice for a living, is what I tell people.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that too. I don't operate on brains. I don't go to space. But it's
Is
less
the test
than,
subjective at all or no? It's just factual? I just don't understand.
There's theory, which is the base of it. So less than 300 people have passed the level 4 exam since its inception in 1969. So it's like not that many people.
I get it. That's impressive.
Yeah. And so your brain has to be wired a certain type of way to memorize. And then also you have to be a super taster at that level. So 50% of the population are average tasters, 25% are below or non. You already knew. And 25% are above or super.
So no matter how much some of it is out of your hands.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's good to know. I like knowing stuff like that because then it's like, oh, I shouldn't even try.
Right. And you can train your genes. You can train yourself to understand more, but you can't out-train yourself. Like my genetics, I'm 6 foot tall. I didn't earn that. That's not a skill. I trained my genes to play volleyball, but I was never going to the Olympics. Like I was never going to be that.
Did you wear those weird knee pads that had the 3 sections? Do you know what I'm talking about? The pads that had the 3 sections?
No, I feel like mine only had 1 section.
Oh, that's good. I love volleyball.
Yeah, same.
The problem with volleyball, well, there's a few problems, but one problem with as someone who loves watching it is that it's only showcased properly once every 4 years at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Now, you played indoor?
Yes.
Did you ever transition to the beach?
Terrible at beach.
Beach is a different game.
Different game.
And I lived in Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, Manhattan Beach, and there was a time that the tour would go literally a half a mile down the beach each week. And like, we're at a new location. I'm like, yeah, you're at a new location. Last week, you're at the other court. That doesn't matter. Fun to watch beach volleyball. But during the Olympics, I just get so into What do we call just regular just say volleyball?
Yeah, indoor.
Indoor.
Yeah.
Indoor.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's that bullshit position?
Libero.
Okay. You're just allowed to be like somebody that's not really involved, but
You just don't go in front row. You're back row.
Is that a new rule or has that always been there?
No.
I don't remember that in high school when I would
no.
watch high school volleyball. I never saw libero.
I think it started maybe when I was in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you jump?
Not well.
Could you jump?
Nope. I was just taller than everyone else.
Okay.
So that
Well,
was
not
like
everyone else.
I was-
You're not breaking records at 6 feet.
in my town. I was.
Okay.
Then the boys, even in like 8th grade.
Okay.
Imagine with your last name Foot and your Bigfoot
Oh.
at 11.
Did you
years
have
old.
a Bigfoot?
No, I'm just Bigfoot. I was 6 foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
That was
not a good
tough.
one. At least you don't have that pin on you.
exactly.
I like that I'm going to only focus on volleyball.
That's so good.
I don't care at all about this sommelier shit, okay? I want to hear about the time you spiked it. Your sister, Nicole, contacted us to have you on as a guest. She also tried to get you on The Bachelor. Is she your agent / publicist?
Sure. Yeah, she would love that.
How many siblings do you have?
3. I'm the baby of 4.
You're the baby of 4.
Mhm.
What do you got? What are the first 2?
Girl, boy, boy, girl.
Are you close with all of them?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
They're all awesome individually.
Your parents still together?
No.
30
years.
Which one of you caused it?
Me, for sure. 100%. Yeah, because it's when I left the house that they were like, that was the glue.
At what age were you when they separated?
20-something.
How'd it hit you?
It was awful.
Right?
Awful. I thought it would be easier as an adult, but then it just breaks your spirit about marriage.
This is the conversations I've had with people. I honestly think people that it happens to, like, at that stage, it's a tough, as opposed to a 5-year-old, you're just like, well, it's just what happens.
You get 2 Christmases.
I guess that's one way to look at it. Where were you born?
Illinois.
You were born in Illinois. You grew up on a small farm.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what that was like.
Awesome. It's like an idyllic childhood. I'm like my high school graduating class had 48 kids in it.
48 people
Mm-hmm.
finished. How many started there?
I don't know the answer to that. But our senior class shirt, on the back of it, it says I graduated in the top 50 of my class.
That's cute.
It is.
In my yearbook, my senior year, our motto was, if there's grass on the field, play ball, which is a reference to having sex with young people. And nobody in our school figured that out. We kind of always wore that as a badge of honor. Anyway, so you grew up on the small farm in Illinois. When did you end up heading out west?
After college. After I graduated, before I graduated, I came out for an internship, went back to graduate, and then moved out after college.
What college did you go to?
North Park University in Chicago.
And did you have a major in drinking?
I did, yeah. Not on purpose, but
Did
yeah.
you drink a lot?
Yeah. That's how I started. People ask me, like, how'd you get started in hospitality? And my mom caught me drinking and made me start working at Pizza Hut.
Why Pizza Hut?
Because there was my only other friend that had a job at the time, Jessica, that's where she worked.
One of my favorite Indian restaurants here in Los Angeles is a former Pizza Hut. And I just love looking at the stupid building and that they didn't do anything to change it. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's just a Pizza Hut that's now an Indian restaurant. So you worked at Pizza Hut. By the way, did you steal? I don't know, steal's the wrong word, but did you take home a bunch of those red cups?
No.
Oh, I loved those cups.
know.
They were
should
such
have.
good drinking cups.
I think I have one of the things you put on top of your car when you do deliveries still.
That's pretty interesting. What were you at Pizza Hut?
Server, and then I would get annoyed it took too long, so then I worked in the kitchen and managed and
I hated their pizza.
fair.
Deep, I hated it. My parents would take us. I do have a memory from Pizza Hut as a child. It was where I had my first crushed red pepper.
What a moment.
And I remember my dad's like, yeah, just take one. And I put one, and he put it on, I don't know if he put it on my tongue like it was Passover, but no, I took one, I put it on my tongue, and I remember not enjoying the experience. But now, look at me now, Dad. I love crushed red peppers.
Wow.
I don't know how. I could have been 3 years old. I have no idea. So your mom caught you drinking. What were you drinking when she caught you?
No clue. Don't remember at all. Something terrible, I'm sure.
Was she a drinker?
No, I never saw either of my parents really drink.
And
growing
you're
up.
like, I'll show you guys.
Literally. Yeah, I sure did. Now I drink for a living.
That's pretty great.
I know.
How old were you when you got your level 1?
27?
Okay. That's a good time to have some direction in your life.
Ooh, boy, I needed it.
Did you?
Yeah.
But that was neat. Like, oh, look at this. Now I'm going
Yes.
to do something cool.
Yes, genuinely.
And people talk to you like back home and you're like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. They're like, holy shit.
No, they're like, oh, you still work at restaurants? Cool. Yeah.
I worked at a Greek restaurant and I was starting to do comedy.
Mhm.
And I would have to like come back from the road and still wait tables for a few. And people would be like, didn't you graduate college? And I'm like, yeah, but I just stopped talking. I was just so embarrassed.
Yeah, welcome to my life.
So how did you get a job at the French Laundry? Arguably, or maybe it's not, one of the greatest restaurants in the world?
Yeah, absolutely. It was the best restaurant in the world for a few consecutive years.
Where is it?
Napa, Yountville. Passed my level 2. I studied with Master Somms, passed my level 2, was running a wine program in the Bay Area, moved up to was going to move up to Napa, had just a easy little job interview at a winery in Yountville, and they hired me, and I was like, great. But I was like, I look good. I was in my interview attire. I had my everything ready, and I like walked down the street. I knew French Laundry was down the street. I just kept walking. I couldn't find the front door for like 10 minutes.
Is it because it's like cool?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just so cool.
And I would never know.
Right? I know. It's so stupid.
And I finally found the front door, and it was unlocked, and I went in, and there was 2 people standing there, hilariously like the 2 best looking people that worked at French Laundry at that time. And so I was like, whoa, everyone here is beautiful.
Boys or girls?
One of each.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, hey, my name's Sarah Foote. I think you should hire me. I think you're going to want to hire me. I want to work here. And they were like, cool. And they just took my resume, and I just assumed threw it away. And
It's
then
like talking to the front people at Abercrombie and Fitch
yes,
back in the day.
totally.
They're like, hey, here, take, and they're like, oh, okay, but
Yeah.
we're just hot.
Okay, yeah, right, exactly. And then they called me, and then they hired me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I never
Wait,
worked
you
in fine
did the
dining.
interview.
Yeah, well, yes, they called me. I went in, did an interview, came in and did a second interview, and then they're like, all right, go fit for your suits and come back next week.
And what do they wear?
Hugo Boss suits when I was there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They look sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And I didn't know, I had only worked in semi-fine dining. I had never worked in any Michelin star. It was 3 Michelin star. So that was a pretty aggressive and massive.
Thomas Keller, what kind of boss was he?
I was fortunate he was there a decent amount while I worked because we
And you were
when
the
I was
sommelier.
there,
You weren't like
no, I was on the service team. I was
Okay.
not a sommelier
okay.
there. But front of house, I would help with wine if I could and do
Mhm.
whatever I possibly could to get there. But that would have I would have had to be there much longer.
Okay.
So again, I was fortunate. We opened the new kitchen while I worked there, so he was present a lot, and he's a presence. You know when he's in the room. I really enjoyed it. I think that I learned more there than I'll probably ever learn anywhere else ever again. But it was a really, really amazing place to work.
All right. Why are chefs allowed to be such assholes? Is there like no HR department in the restaurant business?
Oh, that's the hardest working person in the restaurant business.
I mean, the people are complaining to somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I've always just felt like they get away with murder in the restaurant business.
It's changing. It's changed a lot. Even I went back to Napa and was talking to David Breeden, who was the head while I was there. And we started laughing super hard about some shit that went down when I was there. And he's like, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there used to be a pecking order and
Yeah.
then just all the incestual nonsense that would go on.
Always.
What's a meal cost you at the French Laundry if you do everything right?
I think when I was there, it was $3.95 per person. That doesn't include wine. It does include tax and gratuity. It doesn't include wine or any upcharges if you got foie or wagyu or,
Mm-hmm. Biggest tip you ever received?
I don't know, a couple $1,000s.
I thought you were going to say like one night on a guy's boat. I don't know. There's weirdos there, right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
The super rich. There was 4 people once that ate at Per Se, which is Thomas Keller's other 3 Michelin star restaurant, for lunch, got on their private jet, flew to Napa, and then ate at the French Laundry for dinner. That's like 6 sticks of butter in
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
Yeah,
I like when people do stuff like that.
Yeah, same.
It's just silly.
same.
After leaving the French Laundry, you took some time off to live on your mother's couch.
Loved it.
Where was she living at the time?
In Illinois, where I'm
Mhm.
from.
Okay, you
grew
just
up.
went back to your home couch.
Yeah,
Because you were just so drained?
yeah. that had been years now that I had been studying and working and doing whatever. And when you work at French Laundry, you don't have a lot of free time. So you give up a lot, holidays, weddings, things like that. So I was like, I'm just going to go home. I'm going to go hang out with my family. I have nieces and nephews, take them to the pool, hang out with my mom, cook dinner, see my high school friends.
But nobody in Illinois really can wrap their head around what the French Laundry is.
No, I think someone asked me if I did French people's laundry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when I
Okay.
got home.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I was like, I don't even know
I mean,
how
it's
to start.
it's a military operation.
It's the best of the best of the best.
Most people I think most people that drink wine obviously know this. Not a lot of women in your field,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Why is that?
It's changing. Well, why aren't there women in all fields?
Well, there are
It's just it
some
was a
more than others.
it was a boys'
Why is this?
club.
Why is this a boys' club? That's my question.
I have no idea.
In general, men think they know more about wine.
Sure, and also,
Oh, it's got to be fun.
oh, it's super fun. Oh, it's super fun. And so I've learned, I've been doing this long enough. Like if I'm greeting someone, if I'm greeting a man, I never offer him help.
Huh.
Yeah. So I say, have you made a selection? Or is there a bottle I can fetch for you?
Fetch?
Fetch.
You use the word fetch?
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. That would make,
Retrieve.
you know what I yell at my wife for when we go out to restaurants? If the male server says a joke that's not funny and she gives him a charity laugh, I fucking stare at her. I stare daggers at her. And I said, don't you fucking make that guy feel like he's funny. He's not funny and you just did that for him.
Yeah, give it to him. Maybe he's having a tough day.
I don't care if he's having a tough day. He should know that he can't just come in and be like, it infuriates me. All right. When some drunk chauvinist starts mansplaining wine to you, how long do you let them ramble on before you tell them that you're a sommelier?
Are we so this is when
This
I'm
is a
not in
scenario-
the restaurant?
right.
I'm not in the restaurant.
Right.
This is my
Mhm.
I love that. And I just try to make them feel stupid without them knowing.
But they know?
They do eventually, and then they feel real bad.
Oh, that's good that some of them feel bad. I bet some of them don't feel bad.
Yeah, I try to make them feel bad.
Do you trust customers when they say, oh, this wine isn't good?
I'll smell it myself for sure, obviously.
Do you ever chug it in the back?
No. Maybe. I'm sure I have.
Have you ever pulled the old switcheroo where you know this person doesn't know shit, so you give them, they order something nice, you keep the nice bottle and just give them something else?
Never. That would truly be the least hospitable thing you could ever do.
Of course, but I think maybe it's somebody that talked down to you or
No, never.
You just are like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show this idiot.
No.
Then come back out and go, hey, dumb fuck.
That should go over well. Yeah, hospitality is a little warmer than that.
Listen, I was in the restaurant business and, I wasn't good at it.
I bet.
But you know what I could do?
What?
I could write my name upside down on the paper that was put down on the table when I came and greeted them.
Wow.
I stole that move from the Macaroni Grill, I believe. Blow people's minds and talk about how every grapevine in Europe is grafted from an American vine.
Yeah, I remember learning that was crazy. So phylloxera is a vine louse that got brought over to Europe and negatively affected all the roots. And so the American roots were resistant, and so everything got grafted on. Basically, all of Europe is planted on American rootstock.
Look at that, guys. We're still number one.
USA.
This is what Trump is going to do.
Oh, God.
Yeah, there it is. How you holding up after that election? Huh? Is rosé wine good or is it for children?
I don't think any wine is for children.
Well, you know what I meant. You get what I was saying.
Well, rosé had a rosé all day. It had a whole marketing thing. Rosé is delicious.
At what price point are insanely expensive bottles of wine just a status and massaging egos of the assholes that can afford it?
On a wine list, 700.
That's the breaking point?
Yep.
Did that? There's a hush over the room.
No,
I
that's
know.
good. That's
Just
good.
thinking about
None of us thought we were going to hear that number.
What did you think? It was going to be lower?
Yes.
Oh. Oh, well, I've been in super fine dining for a long time. So my friend and I talk about this a
700.
lot.
So anything over 700 is like,
So
knock
there's
it
two
off.
people ordering that bottle. My friend and I have broken this down.
Okay.
He runs the biggest list in Arizona. The first person is a really, really knowledgeable wine person. They have a deep cellar. They know what they're talking about. They know what they like. Typically, that person spends between $200 and $400 on a bottle, almost always. If they go over 7, they're celebrating. It's a milestone birthday, anniversary, because they know what it costs. They can drink it at home, but they'll come and have a DRC on their birthday because they can. And the other person is just trying to flex on someone else at the table.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Those are the only two people.
What is the most expensive bottle of wine at most restaurants? What price
Mine
is
is $7,100.
$7,100. Why not just make it $7,000? Are they worlds better than a $75 bottle of wine?
Depends who you ask.
You.
Yes.
They're worlds better.
What's a
good.
world? What kind of measurement is a world?
Well, you're the one that has the made-up profession. I believe you. If you say, no,
Yes.
to me, it is
There's a
definitely-
diminishing return. You know, the difference, you could taste a difference between a $2 bottle and a $100 bottle. You could likely say which one.
I can tell you that it tastes different. I just don't enjoy the taste of it to begin with. So that's just my
Sure.
own problem.
Okay, so maybe not you specifically, but
Right.
most people can taste the difference between a $5 bottle and a $20 bottle or a $30 bottle. Again, once you go over 100 retail, it starts getting more difficult. There's like a diminishing return.
Can you get an amazing wine for $8?
Amazing?
You answered it. Are you picky about wine when you go out?
Yes. Particular is the word I like.
Costly is what I just heard.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Are you team old world or new world wine?
Both.
What's your favorite terroir?
That's good.
Was that good?
Yeah.
All right.
Terroir.
Terroir.
I drink a lot of French wine.
You do?
I do.
What's the most expensive bottle of wine you've ever tasted? And did it change your life?
Probably over 20,000. Did it change my life? No. It was good. It was great.
What's the most expensive bottle you've ever accidentally dropped and broke?
Ooh. Maybe like $200.
Huh.
Yeah. Nothing too bad.
Barely worth writing home about. I mean, it would be worth it. In Illinois, that would hit the front pages. Is it true $2 Chuck sometimes has phenomenal bottles of wine because of how they acquire their grapes? Or is it just some myth Trader Joe's is peddling to move more of its toilet wine?
Well, private label stuff that you can get at grocery stores, some big grocery stores, they'll buy fruit from really great producers. Sometimes they just can't tell you who it's from. So it's like declassified fruit. So technically, yes. I don't think Charles Shaw is one of them, but there's some other labels that, yeah.
What region of the world is the blood of Christ from?
Ooh. I don't think I'm going to answer that one.
What are they normally serving in church for communion?
I haven't been in a lot of years.
Our church always did grape juice when I was a kid.
Probably like boxed wine because it'll stay good longer, maybe.
How advanced are you? Can you identify the grape varietal and year if I pour you a glass of anything? Or
Not always, but sometimes. I blinded 2 wines last week and I called it Syrah from France, but it was Syrah from New Zealand. So I got the grape right and general age. And then there was another one I called Pinot Gris from Alsace and it was Pinot Blanc from Alsace.
I mean, that to me is what and there's somebody that can always get it right, or there
No
always
one
some
can
guessing.
always get it. It's a grid and it's a deductive tasting. So you're deducing. So you're saying by color, you're saying the color. So you're essentially saying what it's not. So if it's deep and ruby and rich and you're saying it's not Pinot Noir, it's not Nebbiolo, it's not Grenache. So then you get through and you guess at the end.
Okay.
You do. You
do
educated
do you
guess.
do all the stuff with the wine?
I don't know what that means.
You know what it is, where you
Oh.
where it's like you're sticking your nose in, you're
Sure.
swishing, you're doing all of that.
So blind tasting is a skill set that you have to hone to become a sommelier and for exam purposes. But I'm not often blinding anymore. What I'm tasting for usually is for the list. So I'm just tasting to see if it's sound, if it makes sense, if it's price appropriate, and if it's going to go on the wine list. But if you're a guest at a restaurant, the only thing that you're smelling for is a fault. You're just making sure it's not gross.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Do all the different types of glasses for wines that let them breathe and what's the other word I want?
Open?
Open. Do they really make that big of a difference?
They make a difference. They do make a difference. It just depends on if it matters to you or not.
These chunky bottle openers that are so big that can't fit into any drawer. And then when I put this stupid thing in a drawer, it's always the nice ones that just, one pull.
Mm-hmm.
But then I open the drawer. One of the arms grabs on. And now I've got to like whittle my skinny arm in to do some more. Don't you feel everyone should be forced to use a corkscrew and a corkscrew only?
Sure.
And then
I love forcing people to do stuff.
Okay. What kind of bottle opener do you use? That's my question.
Waiter, just corkscrew. Easy.
That's it.
That's it.
And a knife?
There's one on there.
Yeah.
And then if it's an old bottle, I've got a Durand is a tool that I use.
These questions are not from me. These are questions from Carrie, my wardrobe stylist. By the way, this is fucking the itchiest thing I've had on in quite some time.
Great. Can't wait to hear her questions.
Is organic wine better for you?
Well, okay, so, viticulture is everything that happens before the vine and the grape is picked. Viniculture is everything that happens after. Organic is really only talking about the first half, so maybe.
Is it bad to put ice cubes in your rosé?
No.
Okay.
Who cares?
Who invented frosé and can we make it stop?
I don't know. Probably not.
Why are pours so small in foodie restaurants?
If you're doing a tasting menu, you're going to get a 2 to a 3 ounce pour. It depends. And then your pours are 5 or 6 ounces everywhere else.
Why do wine pairings at a 10-course fine dining restaurant involve an insane amount of alcohol?
Because you're paying for it. It's usually pretty expensive.
It's so much.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Is it okay to share a pairing?
Yes, absolutely.
That's not frowned on?
No, not by me.
Okay. Why is Sancerre so delicious?
Sancerre is a little subregion of the Loire Valley in France that plants exclusively Sauvignon Blanc. And I call it like the ballerina of Sauvignon Blanc. Mm-hmm. New Zealand can be grapefruity and grassy and super parasenic. And then California can be ripe and pineapple-y and sometimes oaked. And then Sancerre just sits in the middle, pulls a little bit from each.
Why does red wine cause sleepless nights?
Well, that seems like a deeper question. I don't know. People are affected by different things. Probably the alcohol.
Okay. Why can't the people who pour tastings in wine country tone down the spiel for guests who really don't give a shit?
You could just lead with that. You could say, I don't give a shit. I'm here to...
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes just I'm like, there's no way anybody that's at this tasting is processing a word that's coming out of their mouth.
And they're just trying to, they have to sell wine to make money. So they're just trying to weave the web and make a story and get you drunk enough to sign up for the wine club.
I just like hearing about the land and how they built the house and how when a fire came through, they were out there with the hose. That's always what impresses me.
Mm-hmm.
Then I want to buy a barrel. And they're like, what are you going to do with it? Am I going to turn it into a video game console or something? And then we just have a good time. You have any barrels in your house?
I do not.
Do you like it when people repurpose a barrel
No,
for something?
do not.
You don't find it charming?
Not
what
even
about
a little bit.
In a cabin setting? You're still against it?
No.
I can't come up with a scenario where you think it's cute.
Probably not.
What's your favorite place in Europe to vacation?
My favorite wine region I've ever been to is Alsace.
Forget wine region. Is there another region?
That's all I do.
Okay.
Yeah, all of my travels surround wine regions.
So what was it?
Alsace, northeast. It borders Germany.
I was born in Germany. I don't remember it though. You know what I found out recently that my mom just blew my mind with? We were talking about going to Portugal or something, and she goes, "Oh, I lived there for 2 years. I would move back in a second." I was like, "What?" Never knew she lived. There's just something horrible about how you don't realize how much life your parents had before you were born.
Her sounds really cool.
Just selfish. I'm just a selfish son. I should call her and check in on her. Everybody's on the show gets gifts. It's just stuff for my house. A lot of it's first thing I'm giving you. Okay?
That's awesome.
Full bottle OxyClean. Now, the reason I'm putting
Looks
this
like a
out,
half bottle, but sure.
What? It hasn't been used yet.
No,
Still
but that's it's like a small format.
No, this is
Sure, okay.
Please, okay? Do you know how much OxyClean I have 2 young kids, everything has to get sprayed. Okay, and I'm guessing you're having some wine spillage.
Sure.
So I'm like, why don't I just give you a bottle of this? But the real reason I'm giving this to you is because I want OxyClean to start sending me free crates of this shit. Okay? Because all I do is spray all my kids' laundry all day long with OxyClean. Oh, that's Max Force. That's good stuff. You're gonna love that.
Thank you.
Okay. This this was in my house. No idea where it came from. It's a teeth whitening.
Oh.
I'm thinking with wine every now and then. Who knows?
Love that.
There you go. This. Now this is nice. You are gonna like this.
Uh-oh.
First of all, okay, the bags, aren't they nice? No. This is.
Oh, okay.
It's not wine.
Oh, I thought it was going to be wine.
I know. Oh, don't worry about it. Somebody got this for my. I think one of my wife's siblings. I don't know. Got him a water bottle. My kid, but it's got a crystal in it. It was like $100 or something. I don't know what it's
Great.
supposed to. It's supposed to do something to the water.
Great.
And I'm like, listen, just because my kid's in California and has long hair, I don't need to set him up for failure in life. All right?
I bet I could put wine in there.
You do whatever you want with it. It's got a crystal in it, okay?
Wow.
And it's never been used. And it's, by the way, have you heard of these water sommeliers?
Mm-hmm.
Is that just bullshit?
No.
Well, you've got a crystal bottle of water.
Thank you.
Good luck bringing that through security anywhere. That thing is stupid.
Thank you.
You're taking that. This has to come off the table. Okay? Speaking of them, there's a two for this is an old book of cheese. It's from Williams Sonoma. Like it's faded. It's just like been in a shelf. Like I don't. Do you like cheese? Do
I
you
love cheese.
Oh man, this is awful. What is it? Is it just to read about cheese? Is that what I'm supposed to fucking
Looks
do?
great.
That's great.
No, whatever. That's yours.
Thank
Get that.
you.
And then,
It is really faded.
Don't thumb it now. This is the bottle my wife was drinking 2 nights ago. She didn't finish it. I figured you could have the rest of it if you
Thank
wanted
you
it.
so much.
That's how much she left after drinking.
That's a very funny amount to leave.
Agree.
Yeah.
I go, this is in the refrigerator. I'm like, what is
It's an ounce and a half.
Is that shit wine that she was drinking? Say it.
I won't.
It's shit, huh?
I will not.
But it is?
I won't say that.
Okay. Why won't you say that?
I won't speak negatively about wine.
Oh, they can't hear you.
They can and will.
The wine?
No.
Oh,
The
people.
winemaker, the
Oh.
humans.
I thought you didn't want to hurt the wine
Human.
because it's at the end of its life when it's poured into a glass.
Sure.
I was going back to that, and that you were like, no, shh, let them go out peacefully.
Which is also a kind
Are you?
thing to do.
So you're not. You just go finish that off for me.
Okay.
No, you don't have to. All right, fine. Nobody's taking that, and we're not going to talk bad about the wine.
No, I made wine in New Zealand and it taught me not to speak negative about it. It's so hard.
It's probably. Is it a relative small circle, even though it's global?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, you know all these players.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to all these people that are trying to tell us that any amount of alcohol is bad for us?
Over it. Hate that. So, okay, I say that because I've been to a lot of wine regions, and the amount of 80, 90-year-old people that are completely mentally sound and physically sound, more so than a lot of other countries, have been drinking a bottle of wine a day since they were like 6, and they're cruising.
So you think that I should offer my 6-year-old a bottle of wine?
I don't think I should say that.
No. I mean, I don't. I have nothing to argue with what you're saying, but I also am like, well, just because somebody drinks a bottle of wine and lives to be 100 and healthy, that doesn't necessarily mean that it is healthy.
Sure. But I also think that it's being like, it's the devil in the conversation. I think binge drinking is probably terrible. I think whatever's going into, if you're like taking shots of Fireball, that might not be the best. But if you're having like a bottle of wine that was made down the street and has nothing added to it.
All right, so Sarah, you brought some wines for me to taste. I'm a little congested. Will that affect me?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Let's go. Whoa, let's watch her open a bottle so quickly and so fun. Is that your special?
No.
No?
I was going to, since you give gifts, I was going to give you a used corkscrew from my car center console.
Wait, why is it from your car?
It always happens.
That seems like it's a problematic if you get pulled over.
No. It's not like I don't have wine.
Okay, what do I have to do?
Well, we're not going to walk all the way through because when I was telling you.
Do I need to do that?
Sure.
That's kind of. Oh, and then you just let it go. Oh, mine wasn't doing it. Mine wasn't going pretty.
There you go. There you
well,
go.
I was using my left hand before.
Oh, okay. And then dig your nose in there and take a big sniff.
Mm-hmm. Smells
Do you
like
smell anything?
Yeah, it smells like all alcohol.
Okay. So this is Riesling from the Finger Lakes.
Ah.
Yeah. From
You ever
New York.
spend any time in the Finger Lakes?
Yeah, I went there once. It was awesome.
It's pretty, right?
It's beautiful. So different people have different tells. So I have like certain things that I smell in wine and I know it can guide me to what the wine is. So I have 2 tells for Riesling and I want to see if you smell either of them after I tell you what they are. So my first tell is lime jello.
Oh, fuck off.
Come on.
No, I don't smell lime jello.
Yes, you do.
I'm the 10% or whatever.
Sure. And you're congested, so that's not
No,
ideal.
I can smell fine now that my nose is in here.
And then my other one is it's either petrol or like Vaseline.
Oh,
Dig it back in there.
petrol.
Get it?
Mm-hmm. But I think I'll say that. Oh, am I supposed to taste it now?
Sure. We're not going by any rules. I just like changing people's minds on Riesling. So also people usually think Riesling is really sweet,
Okay.
and this is not. What do you think?
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
It's fine. It seems good.
All right, we're only going to do one more because I want to
Okay.
do
Yeah,
one
you don't
with
wanna-
food.
We want me to do one with food?
Just a little bit of food.
What kind of
just a
food do
bite.
I have to eat?
Blue cheese.
Blue cheese? Oh,
You hate blue cheese, really?
yeah.
All right, then we won't do it.
I mean, I'll eat a little blue cheese. I just don't
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of
it's
blue
blue
It's
cheese.
going to pair well with whatever she has.
It is.
Am I supposed to finish this?
You can.
Yeah.
My stomach's growling.
Oh, man, look at this.
So this was one of my first wine pairings with food.
Any
That
jello that I'm
changed-
supposed to smell in this one?
I don't know. You tell me. Blackberry jello.
No. All right, what do I need to know about this?
So this was one of my favorite things that changed the way that I feel about food and wine. So actually, we're going to sip the wine first. So this is vintage port. So it's going to be kind of viscous and heavy on the tongue and really rich and sweet. So
Okay.
sip the wine first.
Sip it.
It's sweet. It's thick. It's delicious. Take a little piece of blue cheese.
Take a little piece of blue cheese. Oh, that's a big piece.
Okay, cut it in half. Yep, good. Eat it and then immediately drink the port.
Mm.
It like mellows each other out.
It's disgusting. And by the way,
I'm so glad I brought these wines.
Sarah, I know I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong.
Sure.
But like I could gag.
Anyways, that's technically a perfect pairing.
I still have blue cheese in my mouth. I can still feel blue cheese.
Just take a little more of that. There we go.
There we go. Oh man, so much blue cheese.
You have the tiniest piece.
It's so thick. It like coats your teeth.
Yum. It's so good with vintage port.
But this goes with everything.
Sure. Goes with a lot.
A lot.
A ton. Most things.
Ugh.
Oh my God, he's eating the cheese. Sorry, your dog's eating the blue cheese.
Carl, give him the port so that he can balance it out. Carl, come here, boy. Come over here. We'll reimburse you. Carl, come here. Do you want to balance out the blue cheese? Are you having fun? Do you say, "Oh, I like this life"?
Yes.
That's good.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Where are you going to end up? You going to stay?
Probably in the south of France.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Making cheese, maybe.
When you die, are you going to have your ashes thrown in a vineyard and then
I
we
want
can
to go
drink
in
you?
the wine. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That would be cool.
I don't think I've ever thought about that.
No.
Then you could save a couple bottles
Mhm.
forever and be like, yeah, one day I'm going to drink my great grandpa. Well, we're going to dump you into some soil and we're going to drink you later.
picking up notes of cortisone.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, Sarah, I wish you all the best in the upcoming volleyball season. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for
And
having
thank you
me.
for teaching me a little something about wine. And, the rest is on me.
Thanks for having me.
Travel safe.
Tosh Show.
Thank you, Sarah, for being on the show. I confirmed so much. Still don't like wine. What are you going to do? But she did remind me, Carl, that we must check in on my mother. Let's see if she answers. She's getting wise to this prank. She's like, if you FaceTime, I know you want to talk to me. Hey.
Hey.
How are you doing physically? Just checking in on your well-being, social check.
I'm feeling just fine, thank you. We had a cool day today. It was nice outside. It was like 68 or 70, and it was windy and nice, and I'm feeling fine, thank you.
Just fine?
I'm fine.
Did you get your steps in today?
Grandpa got a new recliner.
Oh.
So I said that's going to be his last one, so that's it.
Oh. Yeah? That's a pretty good update. Hey, I was going to send you some photos I just saw of some women with white hair that was just mid-length. Maybe that would be something that...
Please. Quit trying to fix me up.
All right.
I'm too old. I don't like long gray hair and long white hair.
It's white hair. It's not gray. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful white hair.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Well, that's good.
All right. Do you have anything to say to
No, I'm
Carl?
fine.
Carl's here. He's right sitting next to me. You want to talk to
No.
Carl?
Is Eddie there?
Eddie's here, of
I am
course.
here.
Okay. Well, talk nicely. I don't like your conversation sometimes.
All right.
You got it. Anything for you,
Bye.
Mrs. Tosh.
I love you.
Love you. Bye.
Oh, man. I don't blame her. Eddie, you say some stupid shit sometimes. We got some plugs. We got the tours. Eddie Gossling, Daniel Tosh.coms. Check out our tours. Buy some merch from the show, toshshowstore.com. Get yourself some cool Tosh Show merch. What else? Boyswearpink.com. Check that out before it's gone. Now it's time for the free plugs. Oh, yeah. Let's do some music. Holy moly. Okay, if you're in Toledo, Ohio, and God, why would you be? If you're looking for a Magic the Gathering League, okay, that checks out. Head down to Checkmate Games and Hobbies on Central Avenue. Every Friday evening, they run a fun and friendly Commander Magic League. All right, that begins at 6 p.m., runs in 6-week cycles, so one entry fee gets you access to all 6 weeks. Well, that's a bargain. You can enter by either paying $10 or buying a Commander pre-constructed deck or buying 2 packs of card sleeves. I literally know what none of those words meant. This league is different, however, because winning is not the only goal. Oh, good. That's great. Special goal cards have been created worth varying points that create opportunities to play decks you might not have or in a different way than you were used to. Each night, depending on your goal achievement, you will earn points that at the end of each cycle you can redeem for in-store rewards. Okay, I get that. Okay, you get points and then you can get prizes. What kind of prizes do you think they have? If you or a friend loves Magic and wants a great place to play for some awesome prizes, come discover Checkmate Games on Friday nights. See you next week.
Tosh Show. Tosh Show. Tosh Show for show.